Welcome back to Easy to Spell, where the name's easy to spell. People say horrible things right before we go live, and we still messed up the spelling. Y'all know the joke. I am, as always, your host, or not host, dungeon master. What am I, David? I hate that you do this. I'm your dungeon master, Andrew Day. Joining me tonight are.
I am David. I play Kaya Bauer. And as a little sidebar, please go to all of our socials, easy to spell with 2 L's, and give us a like, comment, follow, all the good stuff. Yeah.
I'm Mike. I play Raven Corellius.
I'm Rachel. I play I play Valala Valkyrie. That's a lot of V's. And I want you guys to go check out our merch because it's awesome, cool stuff. We got cool shirts and stickers and mugs and all the things. Yeah, cool. Bye.
I'm Will, and I play Overelton Denthere. Andrew, back to you.
Right. Dropping shit already. This is, as always,
It's gonna be a struggle bus today.
We come to expect. We're gonna get there. We'll find our rhythm again. Really quick, we are going to, after tonight, be taking a 2-week break, just with Thanksgiving and everybody traveling coming up. We'll be off the next 2 weeks. Then we'll be back, and then we'll have another break over Christmas, but we'll get the actual dates to that. So, thanks to Mike, our lovely Raven and editor. You can catch up on anything you may have missed on YouTube in the interim. Get all those sweet details. Especially check out the doppelganger fight from 2 episodes ago, because it was one of my favorite moments we've ever had. Finally, big shout out to all of our friends at Rep RPG. Anybody that is, talking to us on Twitch, anything like that. Thank you everybody so much for helping us build up our community. Once we hit 100, we actually get a script. We'll type this all up, get into the action so much faster.
Or we won't.
Or we won't. We'll try. It might be a really long script. We haven't made any promises there. That's
but we won't know until we get one.
Exactly. So help us get there, please. But speaking of getting back to the action, when we last left our party, y'all have still been making your way through this barrier, the structure built around the peninsula on the continent of Artas. Making your way through, fighting against clockwork machinations, as well as stolen faces of your own friends. You just came out of a pitched battle with a little Minotaur encampment here. When I say a little Minotaur, I'm speaking about the encampment because the dude you fought was not little. Jacked some shit up. Coming off the tail end of this fight, Raven having produced a rope trick in creating a small sanctuary, you all just have retreated from the outcome of that battle into this safe, extra-dimensional space, kind of isolated from the outside world, giving you all a chance to sit, relax, and unwind. For the first time, really in a while, that you've been able to peacefully rest. It is as the rope is being pulled into the entryway. We see you, which, Mike, I don't know if you want to give us any detail of what your little extra-dimensional space looks like.
It's just a little peace haven. Lots of trees kind of surrounding us. It looks like it goes beyond the walls that it actually exists, but it's about a 3 by 5 foot space. It's not too big, but just nice and relaxing.
So this is much better than whatever bed was sitting out there.
Yeah, it's my little haven.
That's nice.
Raven Haven, if you will.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
That's
tired.
nice, but I kind of prefer more of a tavern scene. But this works.
I think it's a good time for us to take a little rest.
And how long does the rope trick last?
1 hour. Which
So
at
will be
that
enough
time,
for you guys.
everything will fall out if we don't climb it. So
You'll have enough time to get a short rest in. If there's anything you guys are doing that's you can accomplish any little tasks. You can go over the magical items you've acquired and figure out kind of what you're wanting to do with that.
When we're done with this, what's the forward momentum? We should probably follow wherever we think Akron went, right?
What I'm thinking.
yeah, I don't think the tunnels are going to be a good direction. I think we're going to have to find another way out.
But I mean, if there isn't one, then he obviously went that way, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
just seems fairly recent,
Yeah, that's true.
I've been
Oh.
kind of thinking about it while we've been moving through these halls, and I think I might be able to try something to get that bag
You
back
mean
with the.
back with
Yeah.
the aboleth? Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Also,
never done it before, but I might be able to summon like a dolphin to go in there and grab it and swim out. The only problem
Where
is
would it swim out?
if it can fit through the grate, I'm not sure. Otherwise, if it can at least get it to the grate, and then you
Would-
can do your dimension, or we can swim it.
would this be a magical dolphin, or would this be something that it could mind control as well?
I mean, it definitely could mind control it, but if that happens, then I mean, it's stuck in there with it. It's not like it can do anything else, so we're not really losing much.
I'm up to try it, but I feel like at the end of the day, we might just be feeding an aboleth.
That'll require me to go in there quickly and summon it. So I may need somebody to watch my move if you see me acting out of sorts.
Pull you out?
Yeah.
That's better
Otherwise,
than
we
any
could
idea
just
I've got.
we could just run through if not. So
I
Well,
think
he's
I've got
probably
a
not
trick
gonna
or
be
two to
very-
keep us. Go ahead.
You may not be very happy. That's going to be the problem. I've already left
Yeah.
him twice, so I doubt he's going to very easily let us get away a third time.
because we can
Yeah,
keep
I'm
our
sure
minds
he's gonna be
straight.
pissed off. But I have a trick or two up my sleeve to hopefully get us through a little bit smoother. But I like the dolphin idea.
I may have a trick myself.
Okay. Well, we're no short of options.
DM question really quick.
Mhm. Sure.
Is like mental mind control intelligence or wisdom?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay. Thanks.
Well, our time up here is just about out. Probably want to climb out before it just collapses. Did that once, it didn't feel too great.
All right, let's make our way down.
Drop the rope and
Nope, I'm getting as much time in here as I can.
3 of you climb down the rope and wait, and another 2 or 3 minutes goes by, and to you it just looks like the hole begins to close. Will you hear a rent, like something being torn apart? It's nearly deafening, and everything goes black for a moment, and you just are falling. Y'all watch Orelton is thrown out of the room, like hits the wall 10 feet up and like falls down. It's only 10 feet, so we're not going to worry about damage or anything. But it hurls you out of space, You watch as he's just spit out as the portal finishes closing, hits the wall, slides to the ground.
Yeah, that was not worth the 2 minutes at all. All right, let's go.
I guess we'll
you find
make our way
yourself
back.
back in the stone tunnels, making your way towards the Aboleth's door.
Yep.
Huh. Oh no.
Right,
Well,
there are 2 ravens again.
And 2
They
kinds.
keep popping up, those damn doppelgangers.
so if it can get through the grate, then there's that bridge that we had to cross to get into the room that I wasn't too fancy of with the doppelgangers, but if it can't get through the grate, then we're gonna have to swim upstream, I think.
Okay. Sorry. No, that was the should not have happened. That was just my brain talking. Not
Gotcha.
Told you it was gonna be a rough day.
All right, so you guys got me?
Hold on just a sec. And I will cast second level bless to get everybody.
That's just
That
And
should
I'm
help
gonna-
out a little bit. Yeah,
And
it's a
I'm-
D4 on your saving throws.
I'm gonna cast Enhance Ability and give Raven Owl's Wisdom, so you have advantage on Wisdom checks. Yeah, advantage on Wisdom those things.
Wisdom
We got
checks.
Thank you.
Right.
And just want to make sure, because I pulled up Dolphin, because that's what I plan to cast.
Okay.
That'll work, correct?
I believe so. Because what is the spell you're going to be casting?
Summon Beast. It says you call forth a bestial spirit, and it can be air, land, or water, native to the chosen environment.
So you don't pull up Dolphin. If you go into the spell description, it actually has a stat block for the bestial spirit.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure that I could still cast that same thing, but
Yeah.
that works. Cool.
Use that. I believe. I'm gonna double check.
New spells. Aren't they fun?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That.
Okay, and I will go ahead and step in to the room. And as soon as I can see the bag, I will.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
first, immediately as you open the door and step into the room, the aboleth is just there with its tentacles just swaying slowly back and forth. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
It is attempting to enslave you the moment it sees you.
Okay, and then
D4
while I
good.
cast what? I know I had a D4 from Blessed. What else did I have?
You have
Just advantage?
Advantage.
Oh, okay.
advantage and a D4.
Okay, so that's 17 plus 6 is 23.
That's you anticipating this, and with the precautions in place, your mind is just an impenetrable wall, and it just gazes, and you hear in your mind, "Fine. Will you finally free me? Or what for what have you returned?"
And I'll just think back. Well, I guess actually I'll go ahead and cast the dolphin because I believe it's vocal. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and cast the dolphin right into right next to the bag. I can cast it up to 90 feet. And then as soon as I cast it, I'll command it to grab the bag and swim towards the grate.
Really quick for this, we're gonna go have everybody roll initiative. Not necessarily for combat, just for order of operations. Five for Relton, 25 for Raven. Did I see that right, Will?
Yep.
14.
11.
11. All right. So
And the
with
spirit-
25.
I was gonna say, and
That's on your
it
initiative.
yeah, on mine, yeah.
Okay. So let's get it a little token. We're just gonna use this. There we go. This little spirit token. Small creature. Nice. It summons next to the bag. You command it to get the bag.
Yeah, so use its action to grab the bag and then swim 30 feet with its movement towards the grate. So it won't quite make it. It'll be, I think, 5 or 10 feet short.
Here. Aboleth is going to use... Are you doing anything else with your turn?
And then I guess since the aboleth is asking me questions in an attempt to keep its attention on me, I'll just say back, how can I guarantee that you won't try to destroy this world?
The one eye, the main eye is fixated on you, but one of the smaller eyes underneath swivels. It is going to use a legendary action to make a tail swipe attack at the summon. That was cocked. It is only an 11. Is the AC.
11 plus the level of the spell, which was a second, so 13.
Okay. It just one of its tails whips out. Try to hit it. Into your mind, you hear the rest. Okay, Raven, you're in here because you came up so you could see the bag. Where are the rest of you at? Did you all stay in the hallway?
I'd be next to the door.
I would have been right next to Raven, casting Bless, so.
There we are.
Hi. It responds again in your mind. One who came before, and you see flashes of your uncle, Akron, an image of him standing cross-armed in the, like, through the glass from the perspective. He asked similar questions, and I gave him so that I don't care about destroying your world. I care about getting home.
Can we all hear this or just Raven?
It's going directly into Raven's head. Kaya is hearing. Now. Make a wisdom saving throw.
With a D4.
That's a 4. Oh, that might have just saved my shit. 15.
You barely shrug off the mental pressure from this creature.
Okay.
And then its turn. We go to Kaya.
Then with that, I'm going to step in over to this side. I didn't really like that. And I'm going to cast Animate Objects, specifically being on the bag itself.
Okay. So
And then would that be considered tiny?
yes, it is a tiny object.
Okay. And then
It's just like a little pouch. So.
Okay. And then any loose rocks as well in there to kind of swirl and just create a ruckus in a sense.
There are no real loose rocks. The only thing that was
Figured.
in that was that pouch, which was like hung from a loose piece of metal from lower down.
Okay. Then yeah, that'll probably be it. And with that, let me double check here how far I can move it. Choose up to 10 non-magical objects. Just says I can control it, mentally command.
As he's looking at this, Raven, you see like looking at held in the mouth of your kind of dolphin-esque spirit creature that was summoned, swirled into existence. Grab the bag. As it makes its way to the grate about 5 feet away, you see the bag starts shifting and moving, and little hands and little feet pop out the bottom. And it's not doing anything. It's just like doing this as it's being carried away by.
So it says it has a flying speed of 30. So would that be 15 in the water?
Yeah, maybe because it's difficult terrain if you don't have a swim speed. So yeah, It has a speed of its own of 15. It is going to have to make an opposed athletics check to the spirit that is holding it, because I don't believe the spirit has an intelligence of 4. So it would just be trying to hold on to it.
Probably going to fail. But we'll see.
The spirit is Raven's dolphin, right?
Yeah.
Not real smart.
So I need to roll what?
It's just for the bestial spirit, it is a d20 plus 4.
18?
To hold on to this.
18?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I rolled an 18, but it only has a 4 strength. So, no.
So minus. So you had the spirit going, and the bag arms pop out, and it just starts like swimming away. And the bag just kind of stretches and is being held in place in front of this little dolphin spirit.
That's adorable, and I need a drawing of it.
And with that, I am going to attempt to hide somewhat behind the door to try to break line of sight from the squid.
Okay, so you just tuck back kind of around, we'll say right here.
Right there, maybe.
Okay, and just kind of tuck, breaking line of sight.
10, 15.
Are you doing anything, or just waiting for this to finish playing out?
Just waiting for it to play out. Oh, actually.
Yep.
Raven can bless and guidance like double stack?
Yeah, they're different spells.
Okay. Then I'm gonna step up behind Raven and cast guidance on him.
Then I have another
so
D4?
you get another D4. Yep.
Okay.
It's just ability checks for guidance, though.
Yes, ability checks.
Okay, so it won't matter for saves. Okay.
And I think it only works on the next check, right? It's not something that just lasts the duration, or
I thought once before the spell ends, so within the next minute, the target can roll a D4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice.
Okay, so just a one-off, just double checking.
Yeah, and you can roll before or after. Go ahead.
If you have resistance, that's what you're looking for the saving throws.
Okay. Let me find it. I think I have that.
It's a cantrip.
I do not have it.
Sad.
Yeah. Very sad.
Felton, are you doing anything?
I won't actually cast the spell yet, but I would just like to have a protection from good and evil just like on the tip of my fingertips in case Kaya or Vala goes over the edge, and I'm just gonna be ready to pull them out of that enslavement.
Okay, so are you readying the spell? So
I have to ready it to use it as a reaction, right?
You do, yeah. And so,
All right. Yep. I'm gonna do it just in case.
Okay. Raven, double checking something because he goes before air. Okay. Raven.
Let's see. So I'll go ahead and command the dolphin to try to fit through the grate. I don't know if it can. I don't know how wide the bars are or not, but
Um, a medium creature would have had to make a check because it is small. It is able to. It'll be difficult terrain. It'll cost an extra 5 feet of movement to get through it, but it is able to slip through the crack in the grating.
so it can get to there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just move the dolphin with that.
Perfect.
And then I'll think back to the creature. The one who came before was a smart man. And I must follow his guidance. And then I will come back out of the room and shut the door.
As you said, and as you kind of turn your back to it, just in all of your minds, you hear, "I know your faces. I will be free, and I will find you." As the door shuts, cutting off that telepathic link, and you're left quiet and alone, just together in the hallway.
Well, hopefully we're all dead by the time that thing is released.
I'd like him to be dead first, but sometimes we don't get our wishes. That is probably my least favorite thing that we've done since we've been in here.
You said they don't die, though, right?
They go back to the plane that they're from and are reincarnated. My understanding, at least.
Well, should we
You
make
may
our way
have-
to the...
So
Go
you
ahead,
may
sorry.
have successfully navigated the encounter. You may have made an enemy that will never forget you and never die.
BBEG,
Yeah.
here we go.
And hunt you for eternity. But you got the key.
But we got a key.
Well, we got a bag.
Something.
You got a bag.
Yeah, we got a bag.
Well, we haven't got it yet. So I'm going to look at everybody and say, we got to move. We need to get that. And I'm just going to go ahead and take off through the hall and back up to the bridge.
So as long as I'm within 500 feet of the bag, I can control it for up to a minute.
Within 500 feet, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll again command the beast to come towards us.
Yelling down the canal,
Yeah.
which is swift running water. But at swim speed, so it's no problem. Till eventually see this kind of translucent dolphin head poke out with a little squirming bag in its hands that keeps like reaching up and like trying to push it off of its face. As this head kind of rises and from the water, pointing it towards you.
And I guess, how far down is the water from this bridge?
Like 2 feet. Like
Okay.
the grating runs almost directly over it.
The bag
Okay.
flies, right?
Yep. I was going to say the bag can just float right up to me.
What's
Okay.
wrong with that bag?
Ah, that was me. That was my backup plan.
I'll
Oh,
reach down and grab it and hand it over to Kaya.
Throws a couple little punches at you.
I grab it and give it a little pet. Stick it on my
This
shoulder.
is
And then
the
it's-
sugar bowl from the Sword and the Stone.
And then almost immediately after putting it on my shoulder, within a few seconds, it turns back into just a regular bag, and I grab onto it.
and then it just like drops off your shoulder.
For a moment, it like
Falls
sits on
back
your
into
and
the water.
it puts one hand up and like is holding under your ear, and then you feel the magic recede. It just turns into a bag, and you catch it as it falls.
I take a look into the bag.
There is a key, large, like hexagonal key, and a ring.
I'm gonna take just a look at the ring itself. Anything?
It's a thick metal ring with a large seal, like a symbol on it.
What does this
Any of you,
symbol look like?
I was gonna say, any of you recognize this?
Raven immediately does. It is the symbol of his house. Which, if you have an idea of what that sigil is.
I actually don't have that off the top of my mind, but
Okay. It is 3 arrows, all kind of pointed just slightly offset of each other, with a vine that runs around, like between them, kind of weaves between them and connects into a loop.
Nice.
Well,
That
this is if this is your
something
family.
Akron would have.
Yeah,
potentially. Thank you.
I hand it over.
Take a look at it, but before I really like examine it, I'm gonna bend down where the dolphin is still waiting for a command and pat it on the head, saying, "Thank you, friend," and then drop the spell.
It fades into existence. It like jumps from the water, and in the midst of its backflip, as water kind of splashes across all of you, it fades into like mist, which just scatters.
So cute.
So, did you just summon a dolphin in freshwater?
There's freshwater dolphins.
I mean, all right.
It's also a spirit, so it doesn't matter.
And technically, there are also dolphins that can live in both salt and freshwater.
Right.
And I'll
Nerds.
look at the key, or not the key, look at the ring, and then tuck it in my pocket.
Well, pretty sure this is what we're looking for. Should we head back to that door?
Yeah, I'd love to get out of here.
Let's hope that's to the exit.
And as we're walking along the hallways, I'll catch up with Vala and pull out the bag of holding, the orb of the veil, and I'll present it to her. Say, this is what that Minotaur had on him. And I think it'd be something that's either good for you or good for me, but I don't want to be commandeering all the good stuff. So if you want something like this, it's all yours.
What does it do?
Makes you a little bit more wise, gives you farther sight distances in the dark, and helps you suss out the hidden things. I should also mention it's cursed. There can't be any non-magical fire within 30 feet of it, or you if you have it.
What happens if there is?
There isn't.
Oh, it just is put out.
Yeah, it just goes away.
I think I have something for that. And this is only after I would attune to it, of course, yes?
Correct.
I may have interest in it. Will you keep it in the bag for now until I decide if I want to attune?
If you don't want it, I do. So decide quick, and I'll put it back in the bag of holding.
All right. I will.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Okay, and it looks like Kai has already moved to the door. Perfect. So, wait, here.
What the thanks.
Approaching the door, Kai, you had seen the Minotaur figuring out the combination before and were able to kind of piece together what it was. Following the numbers, entering the combination, you insert the key, you hear a loud click, and the door rolls on its own to the side, opening like a tremendous vault door, revealing the hallway behind, which I will reveal No. To another long hallway.
Do you think
Alright,
there'd
let's-
be traps behind a giant door?
I'd imagine.
There's traps everywhere, right?
Place is
Mhm.
rife with them. I will
After
go
you.
first and look for traps.
Okay. Make an investigation check. Or perception, either or.
Almost landed on a 2. Thank God. 22.
22. This hallway, this section of the hallway that you're looking at, does not appear to have any traps.
So far, so good.
There is the door to your right. Yeah, it's not the door on the southern side of the hallway, and then the door at the end of this northern side, which would be out of sight, but maps, and the hallway extends farther down. As you round the corner, if you'd like to make another perception or investigation check to look for additional traps.
Oh, well. Actually, before I do, are we cruising on through, or are we gonna detour?
Well, we don't know
You wanna
which way
check
is
out
out.
That's true. We don't. Just figure the farther north, the better.
I'll check this area for traps right up to the door, including the door, if that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead and make your perception or investigation check.
That would be a 25 perception.
Okay, perception.
damn.
The door on the southern side does, you notice right underneath the keyhole, in a small hole. It looks almost like where a screw would normally be, but as you kind of inspect it more closely, you see the glint of a needle coated in something. It's like as the door is, if it's unlocked incorrectly, would fire whatever it is.
Well, this door is definitely trapped. You guys give me a sec, I can try to disarm it.
Be careful.
I'll go ahead and try to disarm this trap.
This is a thieves' tools check, which I believe you have proficiency in. It's a dexterity plus proficiency.
So my dex plus my proficiency plus my roll?
Yep.
So 15. Math is hard.
This one's really easy. Knowing, having recognized what the trap is, you put just your dagger blade over the hole and turn the doorknob. You hear a ting and something snap, and there's kind of a jolt against your blade, and is disarmed, and the door appears to be otherwise unlocked.
Sometimes it's easier just to trigger them, and I'll open the door.
The room you enter, there's shelves on the 3 walls that don't have the door on it, and a small table in the middle. There are pieces of different mechanical parts, and then on the shelves on the walls, there's just a variety of weapons. There's swords and bows, a couple war hammers and axes, and just a ton of what appear to be just mundane items. This just seems to be a stockpile armory.
Is there a dagger?
There is.
Can I take
You
one?
can take up to 10 daggers.
I would like a dagger.
I cast animate objects. No.
Run!
Kaya's turn to the party. Otherwise, there doesn't appear to be anything additional in the room.
There's no drawers on the table or anything like that.
No, they're just shelves. It's one drawer. The table has stuff spread out across it, like somebody was working on something. If you'd like to make an investigation check to...
Yeah. That'd be cool. That I don't understand any of it. That's a natural one.
Yeah, there's like a couple random tubes and little pieces of metal and springs and just crap.
Well, looks like probably something
is-
for more traps.
And definitely not the way out.
Continue on.
I do, and I will investigate the rest of the hallway for traps.
Investigation or perception.
Hey, there's that 2 I was talking about earlier. 6 total.
6. This hallway in front of you appears to be clear.
Yeah, great. To the right, to the straight, to the right.
To the right.
And as I walk to the right there, I will also investigate that section.
Okay.
Follow
go
directly in the path
investigation or
that
perception.
Orelin has been
That he's
walking.
going.
I don't.
15.
15. Who actually do notice a slit in the wall, similar to what you've seen some scythe traps come out from before. The small pressure plate.
Here's one. Around to the side, y'all.
Do.
And then as I come up
the-
here, I assume you're getting to it.
Yeah, it's an open room. This one similar has a bunch of shelves and everything. There's decayed plants and like vials, unstoppered vials that have like sludge at the bottom. You see a lot of alchemist gear. It was at some point a lab, but everything is decayed beyond use or recognition.
This doesn't seem to be the way out.
No, it doesn't. Is there any other exit to this room, or?
Oh, sorry. Yes, there is a hallway extending on the other side that extends down a ways.
Keep going this way.
Cool. Hasn't let us down yet. And
All right.
keeping up with the same routine, I'm gonna eyeball it for some traps.
I will
23.
help. I will not help.
I mean, you might.
I will.
I will help.
Never mind.
Take advantage.
With the 23, there's no traps in the hallway, but you, at the very end, rounding the corner, you realize the entire section is raised about an inch. Like there's a big stone tile that's just like that far, just lifted up at the
Where?
very end.
Very end. Okay.
Down at the end.
But it's just like one tile that's raised up a little bit, or is like the floor from that point on?
It's like
an
the
inch higher?
floor there is raised up just a little bit, and then you notice it like drops back down around the corner.
Well, that's something.
That's saying I'm using the little icon to represent the space that is
The area.
raised.
Can I find some item that I have? Let's take one of those old pair of boots that I was using to bring pineapples back. Never got rid of. I'll just toss it on the that square right there and see if he gets smushed.
Thumps and nothing, no sound, no movement, no little bit of dust.
Not a pressure plate. Pick them back up.
Like
Raven, any ideas?
you kind of start walking forward and reach out to grab the boots and actually have to step on it a little bit, and it doesn't shift like you. Yeah, and you pick up the boot and kind of step back off the plate.
And the ceiling above it doesn't look different either?
Nope, ceiling above it seems fine. Give me another perception check as you kind of lean out and are able to see down the hallway.
8.
8. You don't really. No, the hallway does dead end there.
Any idea, Raven?
It seems weird. Why would that hallway just end? It's got to be
Maybe
for
that's
something.
the pressure plate.
What, at the end of the hallway?
The other side of this raised portion.
But I just stood on it. Doesn't move.
Not the raised portion itself, but the other side of it. Over there, and Ball's gonna point at this, like this area.
It's depressed.
Yeah.
I will step on that portion.
That happens. You kind of step around, like kind of stepping on the pressure plate really quick and moving quickly to the other side. No shift, no change.
It is odd that it ends. Val's gonna move over and see if she can see any like secret hidden doors.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Perception. That is going to be 16 plus 8 is 24.
24. You're standing there and the platform you're on, it's not like moving up and down, but you feel it like shifts a little bit, like a tiny bit side to side. Which is just a little odd. It's just like it feels loose almost. Just at the wall where it dead ends, there's like a shimmer in just a hole in the center where everything else like is kind of older. Like there's gray like dust buildup. There's this one spot in the center that's just clean, like what the wall might have used to have looked like before dust and just time accrued.
Do you notice that? I'm going to point it out to everybody, the little hole and the fact that this tray is a little wonky.
That's strange. I'll step up onto the platform as well at the same time.
Okay.
And
so
see if I feel that, if it seems like it
you step
depresses even a little bit.
as you step onto the platform with Vala, the weight of 2 people causes the platform to depress, and I need all 3 people in that hallway to make a dexterity saving throw.
I knew that was going to happen.
I'm so good at those. Yep.
Dexterity saving throw is
10.
11. Shoot.
Yours is 25?
Yeah.
So, Vala, you and Will, or you and O'Relton are both looking at the hole when very quickly from the hole, a large steel, just metal ball with a deafening explosion from behind it. Fire comes through this little illusion. It is going to clip O'Relton's shoulder and like kind of ricochet. Raven, you managed to like slam yourself against the wall.
Can I potentially instead, storyline wise, push Vala out of the way and take the damage?
Yeah, you can. As you are hit by a cannon.
Okay.
Vala, you will instead take no damage. As O'Relton and Raven each take 15 points of bludgeoning damage. It's a cannon. I will just let you guys know there's a cannon hidden behind a wall.
Yeah.
This iron ball just slams into you, and you hear dink, thud from the wall as something rolls in a wall towards the end of the hall and lands back on the other side of that little tube.
I'm gonna crawl my way off the platform.
It raises back up that half inch.
So, Raven, are you okay? And I'm gonna like reach out and cast Cure Wounds.
Yeah.
Or let me see how much. get 6 and 7 is 13.
Yeah,
Yep,
I'm fine.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine, and I'll just limp past Raven, hold my shoulder.
Oh,
You actually, as the Relt walks by, you hear a crack as he pulls his shoulder back into socket.
Oh, that's never fun.
New rule until
we
we're
just
out of here. Raven doesn't move on anything. Oh.
And
Kaya,
with
you see this
O'Relton-
all from like 20 feet back. You're just watching.
with O'Relton complaining so loudly, Vala will cast Healing Word on him as well. And that'll be 8 healing.
That looked like that was a lot of fun. You guys want to do it again?
Your turn next.
No, I'm all right.
Let's go back the other way, huh?
Yes.
Hey, Vala. That artifact I showed you earlier kind of seems like a good time to have it in play. You want it, or can I have it?
I mean, DM.
Yes.
How long does it take to attune to an item?
Half an hour. It's a short rest.
Yeah, so like I couldn't attune right now.
Well, if there's no door out of here, we got nothing but time.
Well, there's still one more
Alright,
path we
well-
can take back there.
Sure, I'm just pointing out that we're at a dead-end hallway. Might be a good time.
I mean, on this end, there's the other end. Do you want me to just hang out for 30 minutes while you walk around and...
Nope, I
Look
just
for
don't want our
things?
I just don't want our fingers in our noses when it comes time to need this.
All right. Well, I mean, either way, we'd have to stop for one of us to attune.
Right, I'm just saying. Make the decision, because if it ends up that we need to be looking for some secret way out of here.
I'll take it, yes.
Okay. And then, so he just gives it to her.
Just gonna
You
have
can
him
have the-
carry it, so I didn't have to, because I've got a lot of crap, but it's fine.
Listen here, princess. You want to use it, you carry it.
You can add an Orb of the Veil to your inventory.
Okay.
Where are you headed next?
I imagine we're going back down the hall and to the other door, right? Or the other...
Lead the way.
And that investigation check was for the entirety of this hallway, right? Not just the bottom portion?
Yeah, it was the entirety of the hallway. So
Got it.
And there is just a simple door at the end of it.
There's another one, Raven. You want me to take care of it, or you want to try?
No, go for it, man. I'm gonna sit back on this one.
8. I'm
8.
a little shook from the cannon.
Your check and gonna run it does not appear to be trapped.
Great. Got off good on this one. I will open it by whatever means is apparent.
There's a doorknob. Turn it. It opens to a room with intricate runes carved across into the stone, filling the entire space. Some of the walls have runes kind of carved partially up, completing a large circle. And there are 3 little pillars, each with like a carved outline of a hand, like in a recession handprint.
Oh, neat. Does the purpose of the circle become apparent? Do we know what this is used for?
Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
11.
Okay.
I have no idea what this is for.
As Vala steps in, can she try and deduce as well?
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
That's gonna be 15.
Okay. You recognize a couple of the runes, but it's unfamiliar name. Like it's an unfamiliar style. It's not something you've seen something like this back in Albrand. It's some sort of transportation, like a teleportation circle, but you have no way. You don't know where it goes or what the details of the sigil are unclear to you.
Well, I do know this is some sort of transportation emblem. I'm not sure where it would take us or even how to set it off.
Well, I mean, these look like a good start. And I'm just going to walk right up, put my hand on there.
You put your hand and you feel not like a pull, but your hand is somewhat held in place like magnets. We would recognize that. That's a description for the players, like a magnetic pull. And the runes on the pedestal begin to glow and run down from the pedestal, lighting up a portion of the floor.
Yep. Pretty sure that's how you turn it on. But this is kind of weird.
You are able to pull your hand away. It just takes a second. And as soon as you do, the light recedes. The runes dim.
It's almost like it was grabbing onto my hand. It's kind of weird.
Huh.
Can I look around and just see if there's any text or even like a spot for one of those amulets at all that we had?
No. I'll just let you know. The room is entirely taken up by just runes and arcane sigils and markings. That's cool.
Well, if your uncle was traveling and this thing is only set off by 3 hands, in order for him to go this direction, he would have needed 2 other individuals, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Or really long arms and legs.
I know he didn't come alone originally to this land, so maybe he had somebody with him.
Right. DM, would I know if like these kinds of transportation things are reversible? Like if you travel one direction, you can also travel back to the same direction?
Some of them are. Some of them are not. You would have to have rolled higher on your Arcana check to tell which one this is.
Cool. Okay. Well, I can't see any other options.
Looks like it's either this or the tunnel.
Or that orb. Akron kind of strikes me as someone with a acute sense of finding things, so if there was a secret way out of here.
Well, if we wait for a little while, then I can attune to the orb.
Might be our best bet.
If not, we pick another way.
Okay, then let's take a short rest. I'm gonna sit down and start to try and attune.
Okay.
I am going to heal some.
Yes.
You take the time, kind of sitting and meditating over the orb, and you just kind of become enthralled. All the little shifts of color kind of emanating from inside of this glass or this onyx sphere. You just get little bursts and flickers. It becomes transfixing. You successfully attune, and all of the lights around you and those little glass containers dim, go out, leaving you all in complete darkness. Which I think now you can all see in.
Mhm.
Raven is gone.
And always will be next to Vala.
Wait, Raven, are you still there?
Yeah.
It's
From right next to you.
Oh, Jesus. You scared me. Well,
this'll
with my
help.
newly found phenomenal
Super door
veil
sensing.
imagery, can I deduce anything about how maybe to use this thing or any like hidden doors or paths?
You can make a perception check at advantage.
Okay. Bam, that is T plus 9. Wait, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 23.
23. There do not appear to be any secret doors or hidden paths, at least in your immediate area.
Well, there's nothing here. Do we want to walk back through and see if we can find anything else?
Yeah, the dead end kind of struck me as funny. That's where I'd look first.
All right, can we make
well-
our way through with me trying to see any additional things?
Yeah, and we'll say your perception check will ride, and as you kind of go through, there's no hidden doors or anything. You are immediately drawn, like you're magically drawn to the illusion, recognizing that there is something hidden behind it. Reaching your hand through and feeling around, there's a small latch, and it opens up, and there's just an intricate contraption with a large metal tube. It's a cannon, and a series of like pipes where you can see a couple other of those large metal spheres like loaded. There's no passageway or anything behind it. It's just there's clearly a trap for multiple people or something large coming through the hallways.
Well, I haven't seen anything so far, and I don't think there's going to be anything further back. Shall we take this circle?
Yeah, the circle or the tunnel. What do we think?
Hold on, the tunnel? Rachel's
There's
confused.
the tunnel to the Underdark.
Oh, that's okay. Got it. I would prefer to stay out of the Underdark.
Where do you think you went, Raven? You know him best.
I mean, you say that, but I didn't know him at all.
Hadn't heard from him before he showed up here, so.
I don't know. I feel like I just have this feeling that those tunnels are newer than when he would have been through here. I think somebody dug into this place, not dug out.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Well, let's take the circle then.
All
Okay
right.
to me.
Okay. Who is putting their hands on the pedestals? We need 3 people. Oh, looks like Orelton, Kaya, and Vala. With Raven in the center, all 3 of you place your hands. There's that pull, and the entire room lights up. Runes that aren't carved into the stone, but begin to kind of extend, reflected from the light issuing from the runes onto the ceiling and the top of the floors, completing. In darkness, it almost looks like you're surrounded by a blue cage of these lights. And you feel all of your stomachs drop. I know Vala does. Does anybody else have the Fey touched or Fey heritage feats, anything like that? Is it just Vala?
I have that?
Pretty sure. You have the Fey touch. You have the Fey touched.
Oh, yeah. I do.
Okay.
I do not.
I don't think anybody else does.
Nope.
I'm going to use my computer for this.
Weird if I did.
If you're sending me a thing, let me know so I can go
Oh,
look for it.
Don't worry. You
Okay.
take 33 points of force damage.
Whew,
Oof.
jeez.
Only Vala.
Okay.
You feel
Ow.
your stomachs drop like you're falling, and just in a blur thing, like you get flashes of trees, mountains, as the magic takes you from this place to somewhere else, and in just a few moments, drops. You look, it's marble floor, runes glowing beneath your feet. You look around, and you're in a large room with like stadium seating kind of around facing in, and a single guard in a chain shirt kind of dozing off on his spear, his helmet's on kind of on the chair next to him. Who are you? The shit is going on.
That's what we want to know.
You came from beyond the barrier.
In the barrier.
Yes.
He's gonna really quick checking. Does not notice that Vala is currently bleeding from her nose, ears, and eyes.
She's. Oh.
The first people that have come through in like 6 years, I think. Checking. Tethir is going to want to see you. He gave an order that anyone that the next people that came through would to be brought directly to him.
Yes, that's where we're going then.
I mean, where's
He's
here?
holding his spear. Right. You're in the city of Ordelay.
Or delay?
You
Wait,
that
what
right?
city?
The city of Ordelay.
Is that recognizable to any of us?
It is not.
Cool. I figured. Well, while all of this talking is happening, Vala's gonna wipe the blood from her eyes and cast Cure Wounds
Okay.
at a very high level. Oh yeah, she's fully cool.
Don't resist then.
Oh, we're just as confused as
mean-
you.
Backs up and he's like reaching behind him for the door.
We mean you
Finally
no
finds-
harm.
Finally finds it. Take you to our leader. It's the door. And gestures like past for you guys to.
What does this guard look like? Did you say?
Like a middle-aged human man.
Okay.
He has kind of like a patchy red beard.
And the room we're in is in a state of disarray or very
Nope,
well kept, or
perfectly clean. Like I said, there's a few like seats looking down at the portal, effectively. And he pushes open the door, and you see it opens into what almost looks like a church.
Is the guard dressed similarly fashioned to us, or in?
He's wearing it's a deep, like navy blue tunic. It has a gold It looks like a dragon, like a simple drawing, kind of emblazoned on the front like a crest. The spear he holds is just a dark wood with the steel tip. He seems well dressed, just in what you've seen, like guards back home in Albrand, or similar attire, like the Lord's sigil. He's just
Not
very confused and surprised that y'all are here. Do this today. I suppose follow me then. And
Okay.
he leads you out. There are a few people sitting, like it's pretty empty, but there are a couple people like sitting and praying quietly to themselves, kind of
Are
set
there
through the different.
any like ways to denote what kind of a religious gathering this would be, like who they're worshiping?
Yeah, most of the uh like the stained glass in the windows and some of the statues and everything point to Crest, the god of progress, knowledge, and magic, known as the teacher. That you see a couple. There's little like shrines to each of the deities: Skioder, Leora, Finri, Crest, Oral, and Durin are all represented somewhat. Crest holding the prominent figure. Make a actually volley you with your natural perception. Anybody else that wants to make a perception check, if you beat a 10, you'll know this as well. Or if your passive perception is higher than 10. Several of the people are holding different symbols. Not of any of these deities, but it's a small, like, carved dragon figurine that kind of looks similar to the one that is on the tunic of this guard.
As we're passing specifically the statue of Fenrir, is there anything in particular that catches my eye about that?
She's portrayed as a halfling, with a kind of a wide-brimmed hat with a large feather. She appears to be laughing, with a scimitar at her hip, and then carved into the stone around her neck is a small, like, silver pan flute.
Nah.
As we pass by Durin, I'll stop for a moment and bow, and then continue on.
And Vala nods at Leora.
There are also 3 empty alcoves with. People are very confused as you all start walking through. Candles are going out. There's a
Real bad
chandelier.
sign.
There's a chandelier high in the ceiling that remains. The candles on it remain lit because it's just enough out of the way. But people are kind of confused, like they're praying, and all of the candles go out in front of them, and a couple of them look kind of frightened,
Be
or
breezy.
whispering to each other.
Do I have the wind one?
I, up at noticing this at the chandelier, I subtly cast thaumaturgy and changed the color to black.
Literally.
How to make a
Here
good
I am.
impression in a new city.
There's a like a half orc woman there who looks at, like, everybody kind of looks up, but she grabs her 2 children, like by the backs of their shirts, and just leave the church in front of you. The guard. Not a good omen of your coming. Follow me. Tethir will want to see you as quickly as he can.
What was the name again? Tethir?
Tethir?
Tethir. I'll give you the spelling.
Yeah.
Is Tethyr.
Here. Okay.
And who
Leading you-
exactly is this Tethyr you're talking about? Leader is what you said. King, governor.
A governor and protector. It's I suppose, king, but we don't have. It's just the one city, a small kingdom, if it would be. As he's walking against Diane, he goes, Tethyr came to power about 5 years ago.
The last people to come through the way we did came through 6 years ago, huh?
I wasn't a guard at the time. I'm not quite sure what happened, but it was part of the trouble they caused, or why we call Tethyr our protector. He stood against the dragon that came in their wake.
And you just know this is all going to get pinned on me.
Well, what
Look, I
happened
guess,
so that we can prevent that?
Well, the story is that it was a few adventurers that, like yourselves, had come beyond the barrier. They've told some story of why they came and what they did, but they left into the woods in search of something or doing something, whatever it was. They brought back the wrath of a great blue dragon. Tethyr was not with them, but he was new to the city as well, at a similar time. And he, after the cowards from the other land fled the trouble that they brought upon to us, he stood against the dragon. No one saw their battle, but he was the one that returned. Since then, no dragon has been seen in these parts. So, to offend, but we are wary of any that come from beyond.
Of course. You must protect you and your own. And Vala's doing like everything she can to make this man feel like calm and collected and like we're good people.
Is there any
Go ahead-
other form of
go ahead and
light
make a
in this?
persuasion check. It's like sunlight coming
Okay.
through the windows.
Just wanna
and
make
stuff,
sure that
and
I
there-
haven't
There's some
disappeared.
light from high above, but no, you're not gone. It's still
Okay.
pretty well lit. It appears to be midday. But you walk kind of through the church, past a few other people, out onto the city street. Broad daylight. There are a few people kind of milling about, going about their business. He leads you around to the front of the church and down a street, kind of going northwest. I double checked that. On my map I have.
I see that. I was
You even
actually
put it in.
impressed.
Yeah, I just put it in, so you didn't have to draw it for me.
Nice.
Leads you up. You walk for a little ways until you get to a gatehouse with a bridge crossing a river. There's a castle set on a small island on the river. He opens the gate. He speaks to the few guards, being like, they came through the circle to take them to Tethyr, and they nod and say something, and you hear muttering and people kind of looking at you guys, realizing where you've come from. He leads you across the bridge. The gate opens for you. He calls out. This is a small fortified keep. Not the cathedral you came through is much more grandiose. This is kind of Spartan. You enter and there's the same deep blue banners with the gold kind of emblazoned on the front, that gold image of a dragon. And there, sitting in like full armor, full plate armor, with the same tabard, and the collar comes up and kind of covers half of the face of this person who's sitting. Deep blue eyes, black hair, maybe possibly elven features, who kind of looks like an elf from what you can see from the eyes and the nose, is just sitting kind of quietly, just thinking, and he looks up as you all enter. What is the meaning of this? They came to the circle, my lord. Lord Tethir. Your orders were to bring them to see. Of course, of course. Sorry, being inhospitable to my guests. Hello. I am Lord Tethir, Lord of Ortlai. To my realm.
Hello, I'm Raven Corellius. We just kind of popped up here, not really sure what brought us.
Story of the ones who came before. Oh, if memory serves right, you look similar too. Your features are different.
Do you mind me asking who?
I believe he said his name was Akron. His compatriots. He seemed to be the leader.
How long ago was that?
Mm-hmm. They must have left 5 or so years ago.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to ask so many questions. I know that we're new to your area.
If you came from beyond the barrier, you are indeed far from home. So what brings you?
Well, we were trying to find Akron.
He's been gone a while. I've heard nothing from him in some time. Please, I'm being inhospitable. And say, what are your names? You've given mine. I'm at somewhat of a disadvantage.
I'm I'm Kaya Bauer.
Pleasure.
Vola.
Laura.
Relton.
Okay. And you? What was your name?
Raven.
Raven. Good names. Strong names. For your first night here, I can offer you a place to sleep, something to eat. Beyond that, we have many people that stay in the castle. You would have to find accommodations at one of the inns in town. But for now, let me welcome you to Ortlai as our guests. Edmir, you may go. I am fine now. Yes, sir. Yes, of course. And he stands up, and he stands probably a little, about the same height as O'Relton. And he walks down a few steps.
Tethir stands the same height as me?
Yeah, just about.
Okay.
You I mean no offense by this, but you must be pretty confident in your own abilities for just 4 strangers that have shown up out of the blue, and you just kind of send away any form of protection. Not saying that you need it, but
More protection for the people of the city than for me. I'm confident in my own skills. Plus, I do still have guards within the keep. They just remain out of sight. for politeness. Go ahead and make a perception check if you like.
Can I make an insight check?
That's what I was gonna do.
17.
17.
That's actually crazy high, but yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's 16 for me.
I would say that beating 15, it's enough. You see some of the tapestries that are on the wall, like next to him, kind of blow with the draft, and you can tell that there's like a recessed alcove behind them. It is rude to point. Go ahead. What are your insight checks?
I'd like to see if this guy has as much badassery as he kind of seems to be hiding behind the curtain back there. There's probably more to him than meets the eye.
Okay, yeah. Give me an insight check. Vala, what are you? He's trying to suss out.
I'm trying to suss out whether he has any trust in us or whether he is like leading us to a dungeon, basically. So we're on that scale, and I got a 25.
You have a 25, and
got
what
an
did you
11.
get? An 11. 11 is enough. He is pretty badass. He is perfectly composed. Even when Kai was like, "You're pretty confident," he's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty fucking confident."
You're damn right I am.
Damn right I'm confident. He seems to be genuinely offering food and a place to sleep. Like he's, he does not seem to be like hiding any sort of immediate hostile action or to imprison you. Yeah.
So, I guess the question that at least I have, how are you
You
here?
can save your questions for a moment. Let's say we can discuss over food. You all have come a long way.
Yes,
Would
food would
rude
be
to
great.
not offer something. I will have the servants make up a feast, welcoming new friends to our homes.
We appreciate your kindness.
Of course. He does not like yell out or call for any servants. He just kind of walks into one of the side rooms, and you hear people moving behind the curtains immediately. Like, as soon as he's like, "Oh, the servants prepare something for you," people immediately started moving behind the curtains and like going down a small hallway. And he's just kind of expecting you to follow.
Follow right behind.
I just want to make sure we're okay with, I mean, not that we have that much of a choice, but we're okay with doing this, right?
I think your
Means
first
that we
sentiment is
will.
correct. Not much of a choice.
I don't think he means us ill will at this time.
I'll fall behind Raven.
He leads you just to not a small chamber, a smaller chamber. It's not the large keep audience chamber, but there's a table already. There are servants that are setting out wine and like some fresh fruit, and he sits at the head of the table. He reaches up and there's a little latch in the side, and he pulls the armored collar off and sets it on the table next to him. Very handsome. He has a very sharp jawline, cleanly shaven, and he just kind of sits, still in armor, but sits and reaches out and grabs an apple off of the table, and kind of fidgeting, just absent-mindedly rolling it around in his hands. Takes a bite. That's it. Let's say, I'm sure you have many questions. Certainly the first, whereas gold is gold. That's we measure by weight, not what's printed on it. So, if you seek any sort of entertainment or relaxation or resupplying, I hear getting through the barrier can be quite difficult. From the one, hear this from the one that you are following now.
Well, not to toot our own horn here, but we're pretty confident in ourselves as well. It wasn't too hard of a journey, but nonetheless, we could use maybe a little bit of resupply.
I don't have much in the way of trail rations or things that would pack easily, so you will have to head into the market to resupply. But
That's all right.
it should be doable.
Quite nice to sample the wonders of your town here.
I will say it is lit. Like there are windows on one of the walls that are lit. A servant kind of comes in and strikes a match to light the candles on the table, and it just doesn't. Trying. She finally
Don't have it prepared yet.
Just-
Okay.
looks around and he goes, "There's enough light to see by. Do not worry." Of course, Lord. Thank you. And she leaves. But any questions you have, ask away.
Well, I mean, I imagine this is something on all of our minds. What is the history of this place? How did it come to be?
That's after the war, a long time ago. The Fae and the people of this city and the others of our continent brokered a peace. We would not venture into their land, and they would not venture into ours. We broke free of them. And we scattered about. We settled this land and have made our own home, away from Fae influences.
The wall that's there the barrier is there to keep the Fae on their side and the non-Fae on this side.
There were ancient magics that the progenitors had that were left behind. Great mages, inventors. They erected the wall. Way to keep our people all separate. The means of doing such have been lost over the centuries.
And
Would it be
This wall.
this is the only kingdom, town, city on this side of the wall?
For a few days in any direction. We have neighbors that we do business with.
Understood.
We are, I suppose, in the grand scheme of anything, young kingdoms. It's nothing here is older than 1,000 years. Because we have not been here.
Your guard had said that you had a bad run-in with Akron, and the interaction between the two of you didn't go so well.
At the time, I was an outsider as well. Akron and I, some of his compatriots, some run-ins. They were set on some quest to hide something. I tried to convince him that if it was as powerful as he seemed to think, that he could use it for good. He was convinced otherwise. He made enemies, not necessarily within the city, but outside. And he drew them back here. When I fought his battle for him, the people here welcomed me as a hero. I took their place, the place's lord. They call me the Great Protector and some such nonsense. But I tried my best to take care of the people here. They take care of me.
And where did Akron go after this whole incident?
He sits just off. He ran from the dragon he had anchored. I have not heard from him since he left, but if you were planning on staying in town for a few days, I can reach out to contacts, see if I can't get the bead on where he went.
That'd be great if that was possible.
Yes.
Yes. You all look very experienced. Might I ask if you're, I'm guessing, not diplomats and envoys. You seem to have a rough and tumble set to you.
It was about
You saying that
50-50 if we're being honest. We can talk as well as we can fight.
There have been bandits in the area. I'm not asking that you seek them out, but if you go outside of the town, they've been besetting travelers on the road.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be too much of a problem for us.
If you get bored, hey, feel free to go solve this. Again, you're guests in our city. I would not be so presumptuous as to assume. Beyond myself, there is not too much special about the guards of this city. And I have responsibilities that don't allow me to just go hunt down traveling bandits. Be safe on the road, but if you do encounter them, there is a reward for taking care of.
Would love nothing more.
Speaking of the road, to the best of our knowledge, until, half hour, 45 minutes ago, we were pretty certain this part of this continent was uninhabited. You, have some sort of a geographic layout of these other townships, cities you've been talking about?
I will have a map brought to you. Should be easy enough. There are several cities within. There's one city within a few days, more within a few weeks, let's say. We trade. There are caravans that come regularly.
If there was any way you can include some contacts that we can reach out to in those cities if we come upon them.
Yeah, I can put together a list for you. Hopefully, it will not be necessary if I'm able to get hold of Akron and bring him here. Hopefully.
That'd solve a lot of our problems if you could.
We are assuming he's still alive. These are dangerous lands, and he was very capable, but he's... I suppose elves don't age as long as... age much slower, so still probably quite spry. But... assuming he's alive, I can either get word of his location, get word to him. I'll tell him that Raven is looking.
Yes, that'd be great.
I correct in assuming you are family.
Yes.
Okay. It's alright, just checking something. Checking one other thing. Okay.
At that, I'm not medding, I promise. But as Raven said, yes, I'm family, Vala wanted to pay close attention to his reaction and see if there's any demeanor changes at that knowledge.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay. That is 20, not nat.
Nothing. When Raven says, yeah, his brows kind of furrows in thought. You can't tell.
It's like,
pretty solid
he's
poker face.
family.
Like, okay, family, right? that with that, you do feel like there's a sense that you can trust this guy. With that, there's something about him that is just, it's confident. I don't want to say kind, but open. Like there's something like
He doesn't
it
feel any
emanates
need to.
trustworthiness.
Yeah. Okay. Your kindness has been sorry, follows Rachel's brain's not working in follows words right now. Your kindness has been exceptional, and I would very much like to know how we can assist you other than these bandits. Is there something that we can give you, information that we can provide?
Love to hear stories of where you come from. Akron had a very limited view. We did not see eye to eye too often. So, stories of your home, far off lands, places I've never seen. Do not be too kind to my You're very kind to mention it, but I have not even given you dinner yet, which should be coming soon. And almost on cue, more servants come through carrying just a feast. There's like a whole pig uncooked. And Tathir sets into it like with appetite. The dude starts just putting it away.
I join him as soon as he starts like digging in. I am number 2 into that pig. Leg.
Vala eats like very delicately with phenomenal table manners.
As there's like juices of meat dripping down Kaya's face and
get through dinner.
Okay, 2 savages at the table.
If there's anything else you'd like to ask Tathir, you're welcome to. But otherwise, he'll have servants show you each 2 rooms.
I'll ask one more thing. There was a city right before the barrier. It seemed abandoned. Do you know anything about that?
It was an old city. One of the first cities when... one of the first cities that was still built.
Questions.
It was called Altartan. Altartan, sorry. Not the Tantan, that was a stutter. Altartan. It was once a refuge of scientific and magical learning. It grew and grew. And I believe it was the uninhibited growth that first struck against the Fae. They did not take kindly to the natural resources being used. Nature is the enemy of progress in some's mind. This was long ago. It was an old city, even before the fall. Many who were there lost their lives in battle. Then have passed away. There are probably a few ancient beings who still remember the city in its prime. I unfortunately am not one. Its fall was a great loss, I think, to Crest. But even in failure, we still learn things. So.
One might say you learn more in failure than in a success.
Some may. I prefer succeeding where I can But there are lessons that I will take with me. And he begins to like scratch at a scar that runs from like the base of his chin back across his neck.
You mean backwards across his neck?
Yeah, like here.
Okay.
No, he's not like old Relton.
Yeah.
I don't know how easily this would be able to be known, but could I tell from the scarring potentially what could have caused that?
Yeah, medicine check.
Like an arrow or something is what I'm kind of looking for.
Oh, yeah, make a medicine check.
Good question. I'd love to make one too. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine too.
The 10.
Okay.
It's a 10?
Yeah.
Not sure. It's a very clean, straight line. And it is kind of faint. It's just this faint, silvery scar.
25.
25. You see wounds like this. He was grazed by something that would have cut deep, either an arrow or even a dagger or something, like just some thin, sharp blade. It is old, so getting like an exact... It was an arrow fired from 15 feet away. Like, that's not gonna...
Yeah.
It can't pull that much. Definitely something caused by like a sharp blade.
Sharp blade, long time ago.
Yeah.
I have to say, being as the last visitors you had come through were less than great guests, I appreciate the hospitality you've shown us to this point. I was not expecting this kind of a welcome.
Be unfair of me to presume you to be enemies and not allies. It is better to make friends where you can. Correct?
I agree. But usually if someone has the upper hand, as you clearly do, it's easy to put 4 strangers under your thumb, especially if you're scared of them.
Scared of them, potentially. I see guests as opportunities. If you have gold and spend in the market, that is a win. You take it upon yourselves to help around the city, its occupants, or even go fight bandits or creatures. There are bounties for many monsters in the surrounding areas. You're welcome to collect. I really ask that you just try not to anger anything that you cannot handle and bring it back here. Though it has been a while since I've given the city a new story.
Speaking of which, where did that blue dragon come from? What do you know who or what was angered to cause it to come here?
Thunder Peak Mountain, slightly north of here. It used to have its home there. It lived there for hundreds of years, likely even before our city was founded. Potentially having a greater claim to this land than denizens here. Akron felt as though it being as that might work as protection of whatever it was he sought to hide.
Did you ever see what Akron was so keen on hiding from everyone else?
He was very guarded with this. He shared his goals just fine, but the specifications he held too tightly.
Sounds about right.
Is this related to why you're seeking him? His quest.
Can't speak for
Which
the other
is-
3, but it's related to why I'm seeking him.
It'd be very important to know, or helpful to know, what he may have or not have that could affect our dealings with him.
I will try to gather information for you over the next few days. Until then, please rest, relax, tend to your injuries if you have them. And for now at least, you're welcome to call Ortalai your home, such as it is mine.
Thank you.
My recommendations. The Golden Scale is an inn in town, in the Merchant's Quarter. I recommend there for tomorrow, of course. For tonight, go to the guest rooms here. They fine drink, better food than I think I could give you. Quite comfortable rooms. Until then, I do have business to attend to. The servants can show you to your rooms.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay and eat for as long as you'd like. There's plenty of food. He stands up and leaves. There are a few servants just left in the room to tend to anything you might need.
As he gets up, does he put his collar back on, or
He does.
Okay.
Picks it back up. Seems both armor, like neck protection, as well as somewhat ceremonial. He doesn't wear a crown or anything. The collar, the front of it, I should describe this, actually has like teeth emblazoned on it, so it looks like a dragon's mouth. Kind of keeping in this story that made him a hero, where he fought a dragon.
pretty badass?
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to do before getting yourselves a long rest? And gets you 4 adjoining rooms. So 2 on the side of the hall with the door that connects them, 2 on the opposite side of the hall with the door that connects them. All next to each other. They are well furnished. Like they're very much suites. Each room has its own, like the bed is like a 4-poster king size bed, kind of set into its own little alcove with a little like sitting area suite with a little table and several chairs. You're told by the servants there's a small bell next to each door, so if you ever need anything, if you ring the bell, a servant will be there as quickly as they can. You're treated to the hospitality of the castle for the evening that you are here.
So, I'm assuming we go to our rooms. Whose rooms are going to be adjoined?
I'll take the first one in the line.
Who's connected to a Relton?
I'll be connected to a Redden.
Okay, and Raven and Vala get the other 2 adjoining rooms.
And then with that, we'll go over to Orelton. If you need me to come save your skin, just, knock on the door. Something happens, I'll come rescue you.
You know something I don't know?
No, just in case.
Sure. 3 beats on the wall means come save my ass. Because I'll definitely need it.
Sounds good. If you hear me screaming, I'm probably having a bad dream. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine.
I'll go back to sleep.
Yep.
When Vala gets into her room, she's gonna check all of the walls and everything around to see if there are any like servant entries, if there's any like eye peepholes or anything like that.
You're muted.
I heard.
Go ahead and make
a perception check with advantage, please.
You did, because you have the Orb of the Veil.
Mm-hmm. This thing is awesome. Thanks for letting me have it, man. That's gonna be a 25.
5. You go through and you like there's paintings on the wall, and you move a couple of them and put them back up. The sitting area, you kind of go and there's a little like space, the doorway between the two rooms, and you kind of look at it and there's like a foot to the door. You go and you kind of tap on it and it sounds hollow, and you don't find like a peephole or anything, but you think there's a space behind it. You kind of follow, and the hollow moves along the side of the wall. You think there is a little secret space running along the wall to your room that somebody could potentially fit into.
There were a small, like it's a foot tall, or like a foot and a half, like
a
Vala could squeeze in there.
like a deliberately built space that somebody could stay in, and where the wall is thinner in that spot, probably be able to hear pretty well into both rooms.
Espionage.
25 was the DC to find that.
Damn.
Well, and with her history with castles and espionage-y things anyways, it makes sense, right?
You actually, we'll say Vala probably has sat in these when ambassadors and like people would come to visit the capital in Melbourne. Part of your training was to stay there for hours without making a sound, taking notes on the conversations people were having in the adjoining rooms.
Vala's gonna write a small little note that explains that there is a space that explains that, and then like walk over to Raven, show him the note, and just kind of like have a little bit of chatter and say that I'm gonna go say goodnight to O'Relton and Kaya after she talks to Raven, and then go over there and do the same thing. Yeah. So y'all know now.
O'Relton will wait until like, let's say like midnight 30, really late, and then we'll bang 3 times on the wall behind him.
Kai, you are woken up by the signal.
Immediately come up. I imagine the door between us is open. Thaumaturgy, the door open. Just slams open. And I come running in.
O'Relton is sitting on the bed in just like long underpants, armor's thrown into a corner on the floor, and he looks at you and says, "Hey, can you grab me the rest of that pig over there?" And he points to like a table in the sitting area where he took half the meal home. Yeah, that one right there, and the chalice next to it.
You want the chalice too?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And then I take him into my room.
Yeah, I had that coming.
Kai, you get a midnight snack out of that?
Yeah. And just before I go to bed, I sit there for a minute. I'm going to take a second and kind of glance over near the wall where Vala said or wrote the note that there could be, well, looking at all the walls, I guess it probably wasn't very specific as to where. Take a look at it for a moment. Then I'm going to summon the dog in front of me.
Like the shadow hound
the
icon,
dire wolf.
That kind of that dire wolf that appeared as part of your tattoo. You kind of reach out and it moves from it and it almost like runs down your arm and melting into shadow. Like the shadow drips off of your hand, and it from this pool of shadow, the next paw, this inky black dire wolf pulls itself out until it stands quietly, hackles raised in front of you.
Just quietly. Are you here for me? Or are you here for it?
Just looks. It reaches its nose out and like tucks it under your hand, like pushing your hand up to scratch it.
Give it a little pet along the top. I hope so. And then dismiss him.
Anybody else doing anything?
I'll wait for Vala if she has anything. I'll go last.
No surprise secret midnight kisses or anything.
Okay, like very late, like a few hours after I heard the ruckus in the other two rooms. Raven's gonna sneak out of his room and try to sneak into Vala's in the dark.
Okay. It's easy enough. You have the adjoining door. Let's see if you locked it.
And then he's gonna take the dagger that he has, the dagger of warning.
Dagger of warning.
And it's wrapped in a letter. Or letters wrapped around it, sorry. And he's going to slide that into her bag. Or onto, I guess not into her bag, but like onto like a table near her. And then lightly lean in and kiss her on the forehead and leave before she wakes up.
Yeah.
And go back to
You
sleep.
all rest in probably the most comfortable beds you've been in months. Kaya, you know you're dreaming. Because when you sit up, everything is shrouded in dripping black shadow. And you see sitting in front of you on a chair, like a throne woven in this, an old man. I know the rules of the game. Sit. Fine by me. You're probably quite curious about the mark you bear. No questions. Interesting. Have you figured out the numbers yet? I don't have to tell you anything, boy.
What game are we playing?
It's a game of life or death. The number marks others in a similar situation to you. And one by one, they are claimed. It's a place in line, as it were. He pulls his shirt aside and you see a similar mark on his chest. Ithis needs sacrifices to appease his master. You can change your spot in line. Just mark others. For everyone you mark is one ahead of you. However you want to do it. I found it was always easiest to get people to agree to the deal. So however, I sold it to them, as it were. I gave your father the family he always dreamed of. And you were such a small price to pay. Or at least your mother was.
I summon the dog.
From the shadows around it, it pulls, and it stands like next to you, its shoulders and back kind of hunched with a low growl at him. Some of the gifts, then.
You're cutting out slightly, my friend.
Oh, sorry. So you've harnessed some of the gifts, then. Interesting. Those are the rules. If you mark others, they go before you.
I don't plan on marking anyone. I don't plan on being taken. I'm not as weak as you are.
You don't know the monsters that we're just pawns to. If you're able to defeat this, I welcome it because it frees me from my mark as well. I wish you nothing but the best. Not so scared. Say my name. It's Moldis.
I'm not afraid.
You're not foolish either. That's good.
Tell me. Where can I find you, Moldy?
The nicknames. Give me one sec. If you want to come seek me out, I've made my home at Shades Harbor in the Felden Way. Killing people behind you in line doesn't do you any good. It's adding people to the front. You're welcome to seek me out. I will usher you to your end and your fate with Haran. He is kind of enshrouded as that shadow creeps forward until it's just you and the wolf. And it still had the fur raised. The dream ends. You kind of wake up a little bit and realize that in your sleep you had summoned the dog, the wolf back. And it is now sitting at the foot of the bed, its ears up, kind of alert to any sound. And I think that's where we're going to end it tonight.
Woo!
So,
Intense.
thank you guys. Thank you, anybody watching. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. We are, like I said at the beginning, going to be gone for the next 2 weeks. I guess until next time, have a great holiday, everybody. And we will see you next time on Easy to Spell.